just watched a little bit of this on television. It's a disgrace to our country. It's another witch hunt. Here we go again. It's Adam Schiff and his crew making up stories and sitting there like pious, whatever you want to call them. It's just really a disgrace. It's a terrible thing for our country. They can't do any work. They're frozen. The Democrats are going to lose the election. They know it. That's why they're doing it. And it should never be allowed what's happened to this president. And despite that, I think I've done just about more than any president in his first 2.5 years in office. If you look, I think you'll see very few could compete with the things we've done for our military, for the economy. We have the best economy anywhere in the world, by far. We've rebuilt our military. We've done so many things that are so incredible with tax cuts and regulation. And I have to put up with Adam Schiff on an absolutely perfect phone call to the new president of Ukraine. That was a perfect call. But Adam Schiff doesn't talk about Joe Biden and his son walking away with millions of dollars from Ukraine and then millions of dollars from China, walking away in a quick meeting, walking away with millions of dollars. He doesn't talk about Joe Biden firing a prosecutor. And if that prosecutor's not fired, he's not going to give him money from the United States of America. They don't talk about that. My call was perfect. The president yesterday of Ukraine said there was no pressure put on him whatsoever, none whatsoever. And he said it loud and clear for the press. What these guys are doing, Democrats are doing to this country, is a disgrace, and it shouldn't be allowed. There should be a way of stopping it, maybe legally through the courts, but they're going to tie up our country. We can't talk about gun regulation. We can't talk about anything because, frankly, they're so tied up, they're so screwed up, nothing gets done except when I do it. I'm using Mexico to protect our border because the Democrats won't change loopholes in asylum. When you think of that, and I want to thank Mexico, 27,000 soldiers they have. But think of how bad that is. Think of it. Where we use Mexico because the Democrats won't fix our broken immigration system. We need their votes. If we don't get their votes, we can't do it. And the Republicans are all on board. They want to fix it, but the Democrats won't do it. They don't want to talk about infrastructure. They don't want to talk about lowering drug prices. They don't want to talk about anything because they're fixated on this. And Nancy Pelosi has been hijacked by the radical left, and everybody knows it. Thank you.
It's a sad week for our country. Very prayerfully and patriotically, we had to come to a decision that had to move forward with an impeachment inquiry of the President of the United States. This is nothing that we take lightly. And in trying to balance our responsibility to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States in a way that was not divisive in our country, but uniting in our country, we wanted to have a fuller understanding of the facts. Last week, we saw something that removed all doubt as to whether we should move forward. This distinct change in the body of knowledge that we had on which to make a decision. So when people say to me, what made you change my mind? I didn't change my mind. I've always been on the course of finding the facts as we honor our Constitution. And the facts are these, that the President of the United States, in his actions in a telephone call with a head of state, betrayed his oath of office, our national security, and the integrity of our elections. This is about the facts. This is about the Constitution of the United States. And we have to make judgment in an inquiry as we go forward. There are some in our caucus who think, let's just have an impeachment. No, we have to have an inquiry to further establish the facts. There is no rush to judgment, and in some ways we are a jury, open to what might be exculpatory or not. But every day, the sadness grows because the disregard for our Constitution that the president has becomes more clear. The complaint states that the White House tried to lock down all records of the call, especially the word-for-word transcript. That gave the whistleblower reason to believe that they, the White House, understood the gravity of what transpired in that call. The complaint reports a, quote, repeated abuse of an electronic record system designed to store classified, sensitive national security information, which the White House used to hide information of a political nature. This is a cover-up. This is a cover-up. The inquiry and the consensus in our caucus is that our focus now is on this allegation. Now we're seeing the evidence of it, and why the president thinks that this is exculpatory. Well, maybe he doesn't know that word. That the president thinks that this proves his innocence only goes to show how further he doesn't understand right from wrong. So it isn't about what we. This is the focus of the moment because this is the charge. All of the other work that relates to abuse of power, ignoring subpoenas of government, of Congress, contempt of Congress by him, those things will be considered later. But right now, we're in the inquiring stage. So that's why I said let's not make any conclusions about articles of impeachment or anything else. We have to get the facts. Now he's asking a foreign government to help him in his election. The president, as I have said, I respect the role of the president is to speak to foreign leaders, and sometimes their conversations have a level of confidentiality that is appropriate. It is not the role of the president to shake down foreign leaders for his own political purpose, using withholding taxpayer money to do so. And believe me, I'm very prayerful about this. This is a heavy decision to go down this path. For some people, it was easier. They thought the transgressions were self-evident. I thought we needed more facts to show the American people as to why this was necessary.